Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Monday morning quiz number 9, dated the 4th October 2021. I am delighted with all your responses so far, and it has been very interesting. Some quizzes are easy, some quizzes are difficult, is what I see from the responses that you get. But we will continue to look at how to further make it interesting, exciting, and knowledge sharing as we go along. So as always, I'm not going to repeat the rules of the quiz because by now most of you are familiar with that. For those who are new to Monday morning quiz, you could probably look at our earlier videos, MMQ 8 or 7 to know the rules of this quiz and where to log in to give your answers, etc. All these are available in the earlier videos in case you are attending Monday morning quiz for the first time. Just to shorten the video time, we are doing some small improvements here. So that's the idea here. So if you are not familiar with how to answer the quiz questions, you can see some of our earlier videos. But for those who are already familiar, I don't have to repeat the rules. So I straight away go into the agenda for today. The first is I declare the questions for MMQ 9, Monday morning quiz number 9, so 3 statements. As you all know, the last 2-3 questions, last 2-3 quizzes have been on the graphical analysis. So I show you an output of any data analytics software or a graphical output and then ask 3 statements on it. So that's how it has been happening over the last 2 weeks, last 2 quizzes. And I continue with that this week also. So MMQ 9 is about a quiz from a pictorial output from a software. So that is about MMQ 9. So this is the first part of the presentation. And then we go into analyzing the answers for MMQ 8. And finally, we declare who was the winner for the Monday morning quiz number 8. So without wasting much of your time, so let me straight away get on to the quiz MMQ 09. So let me share my PPT so that you will be able to. Okay, so MMQ 09 dated 4th October 2021. So PQ Systems International Monday morning quiz by Nanda. So here goes your question. So this is a graphical output that you get from a software SQC pack from PQ Systems. And here are the 3 statements. Okay, so Monday morning quiz number 9, 3 statements for you on the statistical process control study that is being done for a process. So the first statement, so look at the picture, look at the 2 pictures given as the output from the software and answer these 3 statements, whether they are true or false. This process is stable. That's the first statement that you need to look at and tell me whether it is true or false. The second statement, although CPK is greater than 1, this process is not capable. Okay. So a little tricky question, but I would like you to think and then give your statement, your right answers for the statement, whether it's true or false. And statement number 3, calculating CP/CPK for this process is incorrect. That's my statement number 3. So 3 statements pertaining to SPC. And in my opinion, I think this looks an easier quiz as compared to the previous 2 editions. And I expect a lot of correct answers. As always, fastest finger first. So best wishes to you all. So now let me move on to explaining to you about the previous quiz MMQ 08, which I had published on the 20th of September 2021. So here goes the first question. So this was the output from Minitab software of a gauge linearity study. And the first question that I asked was, is the statement that I mentioned was the gauge is not acceptable. Okay, so this is true. Okay, this is correct. This gauge is not acceptable is the right answer. But I was surprised to get only 30% of the responses correctly for this. Because as per the AIAG MSA manual, the 4th edition manual, so for a gauge to be acceptable after a linearity study, the first rule says the bias 0 line and the bias average line should be within the control limits. So if you look at this output from Minitab, if you look at the bias 0 line is here and the bias average line, which is the regression line, red line, which is almost at a slope, and then you have the upper bounds here. So basically, for a good gauge, for a gauge to be acceptable, the bias zero line and the bias average line should be close to each other, and they have to be within the statistical control confidence limits that we have, right? So this is the right answer. The right answer is the statement is true. This gauge is not acceptable as per AIAG fourth edition. So the second question, again with the same output, was slope is significant, right? The statistically we call it as TA. Okay, the slope. Okay, so this is correct. The answer is true. 80% of the respondents got this one correctly. So going with the Minitab output, if you probably look at the p-value for slope, the p-value also says that it is 0.00, which is less than the level of significance of 0.05 for a 95% confidence level. So the slope is significant is the answer for this. So I'm happy that most of you got this one right. Okay, so let's move on to the third question. Why intercept, which we probably in some softwares or Excel templates, we refer it as TB, is not significant? Okay, so this is actually false. In fact, in this case, the slope is also significant, the y-intercept is also significant. And that is why, the Minitab output, the calculated session output of Minitab also says the constant is also, having a p-value of less than 0.05. So it is significant. So it is false. So the statement says it is not significant is false. It is actually significant. So 40% of the respondents got it correctly. In fact, the same data, for the benefit of many others who use other softwares or templates or familiar with MSA, the same data I put it in my GaugePack software from PQ Systems, and it is the same set of data, which is the linearity study data published in the AIAG 4th edition manual. And I've entered this in GaugePack software, and if I say compute, both slope and intercept are showing a red color. So which means both are significant. So that's what is, that's why I always, I'm happy about using GaugePack typically for non-Six Sigma professionals, So Minitab is more used by Six Sigma professionals, black belts, green belts, and master black belts. Whereas somebody who's doing an MSA study in an automotive industry, maybe in the calibration lab or the shop floor, they may not be, familiar with the hypothesis testing and all that. For those, then, softwares like GaugePack gives you a color indication. So the GaugePack also declares T slope is significant and T intercept is also significant. So that is how we, the third question, the answer is false. So 40% of you got it right. And this time the winner, we had only one winner for this. I understand that the linearity, understanding on the linearity, particularly with the tricky questions and with Minitab output, I think it was very difficult for me to get all three correct. So there's only one gentleman who got all these three answers correctly, and that is Mr. U. Jagdish, Quality Manager of Praxair India Limited, Private Limited, Coimbatore. And incidentally, this is the second time Jagdish wins an MMQ contest. Congratulations, Jagdish. Keep quizzing, keep attending to all our quizzes. And of course, you should also, I think you should slowly start sending your responses a little later so that others also get a chance, is what I would say to Jagdish. And so that's it for this time, MMQ 9. So please send in your responses in the description of responses for the three statements, and the results for this quiz MMQ 09 will be declared in my LinkedIn page on the 11th of October 2021. So